Hey guys, what's going on? Andy Elliott. In this video, I want to talk to you about how to become the top 1% in the world. Now I'm going to tell you this, the average American right now, number one, the average American earns 59 grand a year. That's average. The average American is $109,000 in debt. And out of every 3 people, 2 out of 3 people, that means 70% of people in this world live paycheck to paycheck. You guys got to understand this. If you want to become what everyone else is not, if you want to become great, that's the 1%. There's literally 100 dots right here. One of them is going to live a different life. You got to go a different road. So in this video, I want to talk to you about the 6 steps. This isn't going to be an Andy Elliott hype video. This is going to be a tactical 6-step training system. And if you do these 6 things, you will become a 1%er. Nothing can stop you. So before we go into the 6 steps, let's do an audit. Audit number 1, we're gonna audit yourself. Every morning you wake up, first thing in the morning, do you feel that your mind is telling you that you're powerful, that you're strong? In order to change your entire life, it means you have to change, and the only way to change is to change the way that your mind operates. And the only way to change the way that your mind operates is by starting out your day every single morning by brainwashing yourself with good information. And I want you to ask yourself, like, honestly, do you have good people in your life that are telling you every day that you're powerful, you're gonna take over the world, you're gonna crush it? Let me ask you a question. Are there people that are your friends that are giving you the hard truths every day, that are challenging you? The coaches that I had that I hated the most were the ones that I learned the most with and I won the most with. But the ones that were easy on me, I never won any games and I never grew in those times. Right now, we need to take audit of, do we need new friends in our life? I want you to do this. I want you to write this down. Start, stop. There's some things right now that you need to stop doing in your life. As someone who has made every mistake in the world, I'm a Christian, saved by grace. I am a sinner. I have messed up. I've made mistakes. I'm a huge underdog. I was my own worst enemy. I've self-destructed my own life. As a person that decided to bet on me, believe in myself, this video will change your entire life if you'll listen. So these 6 steps are made to put you into the 1% category. Let's go to step 1. Bam! All right, so step 1, write this down, high value skill. All right, so step 1, you gotta learn a high value skill. Write that down right now, high value skill. What does that mean? You gotta be the best at something. I don't know who you are right now, and I don't know what you're doing, but I wanna give you some really good news. So from 0 to 18 years old, I never held more than $5 in my hand. I didn't make good grades in school. I barely graduated, made straight D's. No one ever invested in me. I had 0 leadership in my life, and surely I was determined to fail. I remember my senior year teacher telling me, "You're the least likely to make it, Andy." He said, if you can get a job and stay out of jail, that will be success. No one knows what's inside of you. Nobody knows what you can become except you. And there's a dog inside every one of you. At 18 years old, I started to build a high value skill. And what was it? It was in sales. And I want to tell you all the most amazing news you've ever heard in your life. Salespeople are made, not born. When I heard this, I stuttered. I sucked at sales. I didn't look like I played the part. I literally wasn't that smart. I couldn't read customers. I wasn't good at speaking. I didn't believe in myself. How in the heck could I be a great salesman? Because they're made. They're not born. If you can learn the skill of sales, you can be rich. Nothing happens in any business until a sale is made. The most important, most valued person in every company is the salespeople. I am going to tell you how to become great at sales. First of all, sales is the art of communication. And I had a really good leader early that told me that, Andy, you don't have to be good at sales. You just got to be good at making best friends. And he told me there's this thing called the art of mastering a stranger. I want you to write that down. If you can do these 2 things, number 1, you can communicate with people that you just met. Speak to people with familiarity. Right when you start talking to anybody, whether you've known them for a minute or whether you've known them for 20 years, you always talk to people like you've known them your whole life. Dude, talk to people and everybody like you've known them. Talk to them like they're your dad, your mom, your best friend, your grandma. Talk to them like you've known them your whole life. And I promise you, people will tear that wall down so fast and they will emulate and chameleon that familiarity language with you. I see salespeople, when they see people that are doing better than them or people that are more educated than them, for some reason they freeze, they get paralyzed, and they lose their belief. Don't ever do that. No one's better than you. Step 1, you got to learn a high value skill. And by the way, learn a skill that pays well. I mean, if you're going to learn a skill, might as well learn a skill that pays well, right? Decide this before picking your skill, which is step 1. Understand this. If I became the top 1% in this, what would it pay me? Number 2, what kind of freedom would I have? How do you know if you're in the right job or in the right career? Number one, do you believe there's treasure in this business? There's lots of treasure in sales. Okay, number two, do you believe you'll find it? Do you believe that you can learn sales, and do you believe that you'll find the treasure? And then number three is, do you believe it's worth it? Do I think that this will be worth it if I do it? Good salespeople can run their own schedule. They can do whatever they want. They can make as much money as they want. They can go on vacation for 3 months. They can get out of debt. They can pay things off fast. They can go make $100,000 a month. They can go make $1 million in a month. High-skilled salespeople right now are probably the highest value human in the career space that there is. Nothing happens in a company until a sale is made. And if you're great at sales, you're on high demand. They will headhunt you and pay you whatever. And all you have to do is learn it. So step one, if you want to become a 1%er, you want to spend time with your family. In the beginning, you got to learn things, but you want to spend time with your family. You want to go on vacations. You want to be able to have freedom. You got to learn a high value skill, because everybody pays for really high value and everybody pays for people who work hard with really good skill. Bam! All right, so step two, ready? Write this down. Get rid of those terrible friends. Man, this is the biggest problem. I remember when I decided to change my life and go to another level. I grew up with some guys when I was younger, and dude, these were my boys. I fought with them. We chased girls with them. I went out and got drunk with them, did drugs with them, did stupid stuff, made bad decisions. They're my boys, right? But when I decided I wanted to mature up and change my life and like live for a different reason and a different purpose, they didn't like that. Like, they made fun of me. Like, they're like, dude, hey, let's go out drinking tonight. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go out and drink. I'm going to stay home and study. And they're like, dude, that's stupid. You can study Sunday, man. We're going out. Come on, me and the boys are going out. And I'm like, I don't want to go out. And they're like, dude, what is your problem? I'm like, I always thought when I decided to mature up and change and try to become responsible and grow a great life, I thought like everybody would be proud of me. And I learned that everybody wasn't proud of me. All they did was make fun of me. I'm telling you, this is going to happen to you. And so I had to get rid of those friends. And honestly, it hurt in the beginning. But you know what I realized? Those people were only meant to be with me for a period of my life. And I went alone for a while, and those friends were gone. But then I met my new friends, people that love to study and people that didn't like to drink. I just want to tell you that you got to get rid of those friends that are holding you back. And I know that you feel like there's some loyalty. Listen, man, when people say you change, what I hear is that you've grown. And a lot of people, when you change, there's going to be conflict and they're going to try to hold you back. And to me, that right there, that's not going to help you get your dream. Be careful who you're trying to please. The people that were in your old life, they can't go on into your new life. And in order to build that new life, it's going to take a new you. And you can't build a new you with the same old people. You got to get rid of the people in your life that you know you need to get rid of. Right now, write down their names on a piece of paper and don't get rid of them tomorrow. Get rid of them today. Bam! All right, step three, find a mentor. What is a mentor? A mentor is somebody that's doing something better than you. A mentor is somebody that's gone where you want to go and they're already there. And they'll tell you how they got there. Are you ready? Write this down. There is only one shortcut to life. Find a mentor. I'm just going to be honest with you. If I'm sitting in a restaurant and I'm out to dinner with my wife and I look over and there's another couple and some guy's holding his wife's hand and I'm not holding my wife's hand, I'm that quick to learn. I'm like, oh man, I'm coachable. Boom, I'll grab my wife's hand. I want to be affectionate like that. I want to have a better marriage. And then I see that and I learn from that. You have to find someone that's made the mistakes before you make them and shares with you that these are the mistakes that they made so that you don't have to make the same mistakes. And then if you don't make those same mistakes, then guess what? You compress time frames. And then that's what I call turning decades into days. Learning how to do what takes most people 10 years to do, and you do it in 1 year. Can I tell you something? There's a lot of really talented people around the world right now that are unsuccessful. Man, isn't that crazy? Let me say it again, because some of you might be watching this and you're really talented at something. There's a lot of talented people, a lot of hardworking people. It's very common that they're unsuccessful. You know why? Because they don't have a mentor. They don't have someone to push them. They don't have someone to help them, tell them where to take the risk, when to take the risk, when to push through, what this is going to feel like so you can keep going to new levels and keep creating higher levels of success. If you want to transform and change your life, sometimes you don't always need to know who you want to be. Sometimes you just need to know who you don't want to be. And once I decided who I didn't want to be, I started changing my life. And then I found someone who was living the life that I wanted. And then I paid to get close to them. And I emulated the things that they were doing. I basically ran the play that they were running. And then my life became like theirs. A bad mentor doesn't really care if their student becomes great or not. But a good mentor wants their student to become better than them. That's the ultimate goal. Me as a teacher, I tell people all the time, I'm like, people are like, Andy, I just want to be just like you. I'm like, no, my goal is to make you 20 times better than me. That's my goal. And I'm 45 years old, so if you're watching this and you're younger, I want you to understand this. What took me 20 years, you could probably get done in 1 year. And you say, well, how is that possible? Because I didn't have a good leader. I didn't have someone spending time with me. And so until I found a mentor, my life didn't change. Even when I made the decision to change, not having a mentor was the biggest mistake in my life. So step 3, find somebody you want to emulate, find a mentor, get as close as possible to them. Cut the check for speed. I asked this one question. I don't know what industry you're in right now, but I want you to write down what the top 1% makes. If you're in real estate and you say the top 1% in real estate makes 10 million a year, let's say you're making $1 million. It costs you $9 million a year not knowing what that top 1% real estate agent is doing. 9 million. So if that person that's making 10 million a year would teach you how they're making 10 million a year, would you pay them 100 grand? Well, of course you would, because you could pick up 9 million. What it costs you not to become, not to know, is the greatest cost. You gotta find a mentor. Bam! All right, guys, step 4, leadership, leadership, leadership. If you want to make a lot of money, you got to increase your value. Write this down. If I want to get rich, I must become valuable. If you want to make more money, people say, I want to make more money, Andy. How can I make more money? Easy, become more valuable. And everybody's like, well, how do I become more valuable? Are you ready? The greatest resource that is not anywhere to be found is leadership. That's it. If you can become a great leader and anything that's scarce creates value, that's leadership. If you can become a leader in the community, in the business, and at home, you will destroy it. You will get rich. You will have a fulfilled life. You will break through every barrier, and you will have a massive team following you. You will build something. You'll build a legacy and an empire. Now, you may ask me, Andy, how do I become a leader? I'm going to give you 3 simple steps really quick. Step 1, write this down, self-leadership. Until you lead yourself, no one else is going to want to be led by you. How well are you leading yourself? Step 2, leading others. Once you lead yourself well, other people are going to see the way that you lead yourself, and they're going to want to be like you. Why? Because we live in an era where people will choose their mentor over money. And so they want to be you, and so they'll allow you to be their leader, and then you're developing them just like you developed yourself, and you're leading them just like you led yourself. Step 1, self-leadership. Step 2, leading others. And then step 3, only the greatest get to step 3, building leaders that build more leaders. Let me explain. I become a great leader. I work on me. I become the highest level of human excellence out there. Now I'm building other leaders. Other people look up to me, and I'm making them great leaders. They love this self-development journey, who they're becoming, all because I invested time in them, and their leadership skills are through the roof now because now they've learned self-leadership by my leadership. Now they love what they've become, and they want to help others just like I help them become leaders as well. They want to pay it forward. If you couldn't do this in any culture, in any environment, in any company, and everyone is a leader, oh my gosh. Now you have layers of leadership. By the way, if you're watching this right now and you're like, Andy, I want to learn to be great at sales. I want to learn to be a great leader. Right now, there's going to be a link below. This isn't a pitch to you. This is for those of you that want to be great. Very simple. I live for one reason, to make the greatest leaders on planet Earth. When I go to die, I want my tombstone to say, the leader of leaders. That's all I want to do. If you want to get rich in 2 different ways, 1, rich in like income and put a financial fence around your family and never have to balance a checkbook again and get rich. And then number 2, rich and live a fulfilled life and be a great leader and leave your mark on this world while you're here and build something that's huge. You guys below right now, there's going to be a link. You can click on it. It'll say Coach with Andy. You'll answer some questions and then I'll personally reach out to you in the next 24 hours. Procrastination is the thief of time. It's the devil. Procrastination is the thief of opportunity. You've been wanting to change your life. When God gives you an opportunity, you take it. So I'd love to mentor you. I'd love to learn your story. I'd love to figure out what's next for you, and I'll work that out. So there'll be a link below. Fill out your information, and me and you will get on a call in the next 24 hours, okay? Bam! All right, guys, so step 5. Step 5 is probably one of the things that really helped me transform my identity. Are you ready? Okay, write this down, identity. You got to reprogram yourself. You got to change. Step 5 is change your physical state. That also feeds into your mind. I believe in this system called physical mental business. When you're getting physically fit, when you're exercising, it increases mental strength, which allows you to kill it in business. On the external side, I needed to be someone that I was proud of. So when you do things that you don't want to do, you actually end up loving yourself more. Write this down. Fall in love with physical fitness. Fall in love with it. I'm not asking you to get a 6-pack. I'm not asking you to get all jacked up. I'm not telling you any of those things. I'm trying to tell you, get moving. Get in the gym. Go on walks. Find something that creates your heart rate to go up. Do it for at least 30 minutes a day. And most importantly, on the days that you go to work, especially if you're in sales or you communicate or you talk, when you wake up on those mornings, if you exercise and it makes you magnetic and on fire for the rest of the day. If you want to have an edge over everyone, if you want to get in that top 1% category, you got to physically take great care of yourself. Bam! All right, guys, here we are. It's going to be the last number, and this is going to be 6. By the way, I saved the best for last. And I want to be honest with you guys, because honestly, a lot of you guys want to go to a whole nother level, and I wish someone would have kind of pushed this one on me a little bit harder when I was younger. You got to study every day. I wish somebody would have told me when I was younger that, Andy, the person that falls in love with learning and never stops is impossible to beat. Studying and learning is something that in the beginning when you do it, it kind of sucks. But after you do it and you start to learn that when you're learning these things and they're applicable to your life starts changing really fast, then you become addicted to learning and then you're just obsessed with learning. And you want to learn everything you can. And you see some of these people, right? They're like, oh man, I can't wait to study. Man, I can't wait to train today. Man, I can't wait to learn. That's because they have evidence that learning pays off big time. Usually in the beginning when someone just starts studying and just starts learning, they're not all fired up because they haven't have evidence that that's going to pay off yet. But I am here to tell you, as a man that has a massive life, has everything I ever wanted, I got it all through learning and studying. And there's evidence that every single one of those things, I would not be where I am today without that studying and without that learning. So write this down. Fall in love with learning. And I want to add a little something to that. We talked about leadership earlier. Where did leadership come from? Okay, I don't care if you're religious or not, but I'm going to tell you it came from God. Leadership came from God. And there is a book called the Bible. And I can't read the King James Version. It's really too complicated, but there's this John Maxwell Application Leadership Study Bible that I bought, and it teaches me that leadership came from God, and also God opens doors that humans can't close. If I take care of God's business, He'll take care of my business. Do you want to be a 1%er? Do you want to raise your hand and say, man, God, if you help me get to this great level in life, I promise you that for the rest of my life, I'll help other people and help them get far. He'll do it. And maybe this video was made, it was your calling. This was the day that, I made this for you. Because there was a video that I watched that changed my life. I always tell people one video, one YouTube video, one speaker, one podcast, one person can physically change someone's entire life. And that's what happened to me. And that's why all these things that I learned that allowed me to build this great life, I could just disappear and never make another video again. But over my dead body, when I now want to share everything that I learned with every single person, because I made that deal with God and said, man, if you'll help me become a different person, if you'll help me change my life, if you'll help me become successful, if you'll help me be able to serve other people and live a fulfilled life and have my heart full, I promise you, I will spend the rest of my life trying to help other people. You got to study. You got to learn. When I started reading that Bible, it sucked. Then I became addicted to it. I don't know where you're at in life. You need to reinvent yourself. You need to recreate yourself, and you need to be reborn. You need to get rid of the toxic people in your life, and you need to get close to the people in your life that want to bring value to you and teach you how to be a high value person. And that right there is going to change everything in your life, and that is how you'll get to the top 1%. Bam! Hey guys, I wanted to let you know my Elliott Training Academy Sales Mastery Program just dropped. Nothing happens until a sale is made. I think a lot of people put a lot of pressure on themselves to sell. You don't have to. You got to learn sales mastery. I'm a person that doesn't read 100 pages in a book. I read normally one page 100 times. And it's going to teach you to do one thing, be a master communicator. And that's making it easy to say yes to, hard to say no to, and make it the client's idea every single time. Your life is about to change forever. I promise you, no one in the world will be able to compete with you. There'll be you, and then there'll be everyone else. I'm going to teach you how to think differently than all the other salespeople in the world. No matter what you do, sales is the art of communication. There's 3 things everyone should be doing in any industry. Number 1, I'm looking for something to sell. Number 2, I'm selling something. And if I'm not doing one of those 2 things, then I'm training to get better. I don't make these videos up because I want you to just consume information. I want to change your life. Bam!